Yeah. 2 in a row. Let me tell you guys a story about a guy named Shea. Gets to the baseline and knocks down a game-winning J, bro. What?
Him. He is him, guys. He is him. Damn. It was sexy. It was awesome. It was spectacular in every sense because on the night that Damian Lillard makes history, Shea has the last words, baby. It was one of those nights where you just took a step back and it was powerful, man. You had that fourth quarter. Shea's out of that game like he does for that 5 minutes that he sits in that fourth quarter, and our team just starts, rocking, man. And you could tell, like, the second Shea comes in, we're all ready to go. It was phenomenal. It was great to see, man. I don't know, dude. It was insane.
So much to talk about. So we're really, really happy everybody's joining us right now. The bench, the other starters, but let's stick with Shea for a little bit longer, right? Yeah. I heard in the post-game press conference, Kenny Hustle talking about him, and he said, he was really struggling all night. The guy had 35 points on the game. All right, so first of all, he plays at a different level, but it was true. I mean, Shea's shot wasn't automatic. His free throw was, but his free throw line jump shot, he was getting to his spots, he was creating space, but there wasn't comfort. That could be because he missed a game. Could just be because the ball wasn't going down, right? But it wasn't going down. And, he was starting to, I think, attack the rim more to try to get, create that tempo and momentum, get something going. But when he went to that shot, I didn't doubt it. Now, I mean, it could have missed because, let's face it, like, sometimes when you're just missing, you miss. But, I mean, we've seen it before, so it wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, it was just one of those moments where J-Dub bringing in the ball. I mean, like, it was like, okay, obviously they're going to Shea, but J-Dub brings the ball in, and I think it was Dort that cut back door really hard. Like, there was a moment there that I thought that Shea was going to give it up, and, I love Dort. I want to see him take more shots, but the second that Shea decided to go spin around baseline, man, I was so pumped. I mean, I was picking up my wife from the airport at Baltimore, and I kind of let a little yell out. Couldn't help it. I knew it too. I knew the spin. I said, oh, man, that's game over. That's game over. Like, you can't let Shea do that. And, I mean, everybody knew it. If you're a Portland fan, you knew it. The second he spun, it was like, it's over. Like, he got too much space on that. It was just one of those moves where, again, we're talking about Shea and the way that he's coming about and doing things right now. And he's spectacular. And the All-Star voting just opened up. So, guys, go vote for him, please. Like, I just got done voting for him. I voted for Josh as well, Josh Giddey. To me, like, it's all about these young guys and getting an opportunity to get votes. So, go do it. Go vote for the Thunder players as much as you can. It doesn't tell you only vote for the top players. It tells you vote for your people that you want to see in the All-Star game. So go do that. It's fun. But going back to the game, though, there was just so many guys. You had J-Dub, 13 points. Aaron Wiggins, 12. Dort, 13. 12 for Kenny Hustle, 12 for Muscala, 11 for Isaiah Joe. What else do you guys need? I mean, that's 6 guys right there that got 11 to 13 points.
That's what we've been talking about, baby. And
it's team
each
basketball.
one did it in their own spurts, right? Like, there was Mike's, I think, 4 for 5 from deep. You had Aaron Wiggins' fourth quarter. Like, you had J-Dub really. Like, he had the first bucket of the game, and for him, if he can be consistent, like, reliable, find a few points per quarter, that's better than him going out there and getting a whole bunch at once for right now, for what we've been trying to get to see the most out of him. So, yeah, dude, we saw big plays from so many people. Some people, it just wasn't their night, and some people, they really played at a higher level than, I would say, competitively than what we've seen for a while. As the game, I heard from a number of reporters, like, we're talking about 2-possession game the entire fourth quarter. There was a time where we had the lead by 1 point, I think with like 3 minutes left. Shea was out on a fast break, and he didn't make a bucket. And then they came down, and Anthony Simon knocked down a 3. And then he knocked down another 3. And it really felt like that could have determined the game. Because a game that close, you're talking about a 5-point swing. And that's it was huge. But the determination and really the ability to say, like, we want a chance to win this game. Like, and we're going to fight like crazy and be determined. And let's face it, dude, Damian Lillard has provided some of the most difficult memories as Thunder fans like we've ever had to experience. Okay. So like when he waved goodbye to Russ, that team, Paul George, he was waving goodbye because that team never went out and played again, bro.
Ever.
So like for us to like see him set that record, have his family in the house and all that stuff. And let's face it, if you're writing the script, this is his moment. But like I heard Shea say after the game, he plays the game to set records. He plays the game to be one of the best ever play. So for him, he's not sitting there being like, oh, this is Dame's minute. This is not his moment. Like he had his moment. Now it's mine. So, hey, we got to get back after the Trailblazers again, bro. That's an exciting thing to me.
Yeah, I love this, what they call the baseball series. I wish they did more of this, especially with teams that are a little bit further away from apart. What else do you want? These teams are going there for a couple days, enjoying the cities. I like to see it last year when we played Los Angeles Lakers and Clippers. Most of the Oklahoma City Thunder front office went down with them, with their families, and enjoyed it. Those are the type of things that would be really neat for these teams to be able to have. So going forward, I think it's going to be exciting. But Kenny Hustle, man, to me last night was one of those players where the Portland announcers, the broadcast company or the broadcasters for Portland could not stop talking about Kenny. I mean, he was matched up against Damian Lillard most of the night, just on lockdown. And it was great because Kenny Hustle playing on Lillard allowed Dort not to have to play that 31 minutes all against Lillard. He played in the last couple minutes against Lillard, and I thought it was great because it was fresh legs, and it's that physical contact that Lillard does not like. He scored on Dort, but in order to score on Dort, he had to do what I would consider one of the best crossovers I've seen in a very long time. That crossover you had on Dort to get to the hole, to get a crazy layup out of it as well. Listen, Dort played him perfect, and that's exactly what we need to see from this. We saw Aaron Wiggins match up against Simons last night. Simons, whatever his name is, it doesn't matter. But you saw Wiggins just do an incredible job at making sure he stayed in front of him. Yeah, he got knocked off his feet a couple times, but again, you're seeing these young men get big-time minutes against all-star type caliber players. Last couple of nights, we've played against two of what I would consider the West best, and I'm telling you guys, this is exciting. We were talking about it beforehand. We were so close. I think we've had 7 games that we've lost by 5 or fewer points this season, and then all of a sudden, bam, we get 2 games in a row where we lose by 2, and then now we're looking at 2 games that we've won, close games. This is exactly what we need at this moment. We're half a game back behind the Lakers, and to me, I'm kind of sitting here, and I feel really good about where we're at. Yeah, we're still not at that playoff position, but there's still a lot of basketball to be left, and there's still a lot of teams in the playoff picture that I considered not playoff teams. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all kind of works its way out. But I'm excited about what's happening with this team.
For sure. And you get to see the depth with Amarui out there, 6 points in 6 minutes. 6 points, 6 rebounds in 12 minutes, I'm sorry. But, like, just impacting the game in any way he can. That's really when you look down the depth chart.
Offensive rebound?
Right. And just positional, right? He's constantly where he needs to be. We've got charges being taken by everybody who's out there playing. And Isaiah Joe got one. Kenny Hustle's out there. Omarui's out there. Dort's out there. Wiggins is out there just flying around defensively. It was even good to see Jeremy Grant, although I wouldn't have felt good about it if we had lost the game. But, we hear a lot of Thunder fans comparing Baisley, like, defensively to what Jeremy Grant does. And I would say Jeremy Grant is the Blazers' best defender. Now, people might say Josh Hart, whatever, but the versatility, I saw them put him on the top of the zone or him on Shea, and then he was the center.
That's crazy.
Right? Like, so that's really, really valuable. So I'm still, once again, being patient with the whole Baisley thing. We got to give him time. we'll get him back out there. He played great the last time he played. He obviously got sick, and that's why he's been out. But, Wiggins has been able to step up in a really big way with the minutes he's been given. For a little while, people thought maybe his lack of minutes meant something. Then Trey Mann, who was getting quite a few minutes early, or of the minutes maybe that Wiggins was going to get, he's down at the G League right now. Wiggins is called up to get that start, and defensively he was everywhere. But offensively, the polish of his game is really crazy. He cuts to the basket at the right time, and he finishes through contact with really, really soft hands. When you look at him on defense, he reminds me a bit of like the way Andre Robertson could just cloak himself all over somebody and just like become a huge pain. But then offensively, he has finesse, finish. He has the ability to dunk on people and finish over people through contact, around contact, up and under. So, man, I would never want to put Andre Robertson like cap on Aaron Wiggins' game, because I feel like he's already, kind of past that offensively. And defensively, he's not there yet, but he's in that conversation because of his effort.
Yeah, and again, we watched why having guys like Aaron Wiggins and Kenny Hustle and Isaiah Joe, Mike Muscala, Poku, Dort, these guys that are what we're expecting to be our major role players out there. They all played their role spectacular tonight or last night. They had their defense was amazing. The way they passed the ball around the horn, it was just everything that we needed to see from this team, especially from what we've been having in those close games that we've been losing. To me, like, this was the moment. Like, you're either going to step up to the plate or you're going to get struck out and just standing there. And I think it was just great. Like, we kept on swinging for the fences, and there was a couple times in that first quarter that things just weren't working. We're down by 10 with 2 minutes and some change left to go in that first quarter, and we came roaring back. It was fast, it was furious. I was like, holy cow, how did we just tie the game? I mean, I was watching it, and I didn't even realize that we tied the game. I just thought we were down by a couple more points going into that end of that first quarter. Then I was like, holy shit, how the fuck did we just tie it? And it was just like one of those moments where I was just like, okay, we're not going to give it to the Blazers today. And that's when we started hearing the Blazers broadcast team just start talking about how you cannot let this Oklahoma City team breathe. They get their backs against the wall and they come out fighting. And it reminded me something that Mark had said one time before about, like, there's sometimes that you got to get down in order to get up. You got to get beat down and then all of a sudden realize that you're okay and then start working out. Like, I started thinking about Sun Tzu and just the things that he talks about within war. And I wrote Mark this morning after, we were talking about the game, and I wrote him this after that. I said, it is a matter of life and death, a road either to safety or to ruin. Hence, it is a subject of inquiry, which can on no account be neglected. And it's like what's happening with this team is that, like, we're going out there and we're getting down, and the other team is like, hey, we're ahead. Let's take a deep breath. We're okay. And next thing you know is they take a deep breath, and 2, 3, 4 minutes later, we're ahead. And it's not like any other team I've ever seen. Like, this is not a typical team like that. Like, when we're down, it's like that's the motivation. It's like we just hit rock bottom. It's going to be an easy climb up. And it happens so often and so much that it's almost like it's part of the game plan. Let's get our asses handed to us in the beginning, and then we'll come back and stomp them. I mean, obviously it's not part of the game plan, but it's just one of those things where you look at it and you're saying, who has more comebacks and double-digit comebacks than any other team in the NBA right now? And it's the Thunder. And it's because what we do, and it's how we play, and it's how Coach D changes things up during the game, and everything else it's working out so brilliantly right now. And yeah, it doesn't always come out. Like, we don't come out and win. We'll lose by 2, by 4, by 5, whatever the case is. But to see that change and coming back from double digits, and whether it's 20 points or 10 points, and making it close. And I think that's where it keeps on coming back to, is that it's the fight in these young men, the fight in the guys that is so impressive. And, it goes back to what Sam Presti has said since day one. He's not drafting basketball players. He's drafting humans. He's drafting these young men that have a desire to better their lives. And it's just it's powerful, man, seeing how everybody's working out and doing well. And and watching guys like J-Dub just start dominating. This is insane stuff. And I know I'm getting carried away right now, but watching how this team battles game in and game out is truly powerful.
So, we always talk about, we listen to the other team's announcers, and, lately we've heard a lot of good things about Lou Dort.
Yeah.
Which, it's a good thing we're not listening to other supposed Oklahoma City Thunder fans who are, like, incredibly critical of Lou Dort's shot selection or his decision-making, which really seems pretty ignorant. Because when you listen to these other announcers, we've heard them, like, against the Grizzlies, they were like, oh, this is the Thunder's Desmond Bane. He defends the best player. He's a good offensive weapon. He's really come a long way. He's not fully there, right? But he's becoming that guy. And this team is young, so you can see it happening. The Blazers are sitting there, like, raving about Lou Dort and how hard he makes it for Dame. And all I can say is, why don't we have the same level of respect around the Thunder organization that other teams have for him?
I mean, that's a really good question, but I think it's just because when you're looking at these other podcasters and these other Oklahoma City Thunder media people, they have this perfect idea of what a shooting guard should be in the NBA. Somebody like Bradley Beal or Simmons or James Harden. I mean, you can go down they all score. They just what they do. They out there scoring. And if you look at the NBA and you say, how many shooting guards are lockdown defenders? I mean, the list is much smaller than pure scorers. So when these people are out there saying, oh, Lou Dort, we da-da-da and da-da-da, it's because they don't understand Lou Dort's game. If they want Lou Dort's shot selection to be better or this or to be better, like Lou Dort is doing Lou Dort. And anybody that tries to tell Lou Dort how not to play like Lou Dort is just fucking ignorant and stupid. And I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of you guys listening that are like, oh, I'm not ignorant and I'm not stupid. And I think Lou Dort needs to work on his shot selection. I get it. But what happens is that look at Lou Dort's shots that he's missing. Is he jacking threes up from the logo? Is he jacking jump shots up that are bad jump shots? No. He's attacking the hole in his missed field goals. He's attacking the hole. Like, do you want him to stop attacking the hole? Do you want him to?
I think that's where they're at, right?
Yeah. But what my point is that if you have him stop attacking the hole, right, then what?
Bad things
Everybody's going to stop playing him differently. You don't change Lou Dort's game. Because when you change Lou Dort's game, then he becomes subconscious about his game. And Lou Dort is one of the 5 best defenders in the league. So, when people are out there saying, and Oklahoma City Thunder people are saying Lou Dort needs to be better, da-da-da, and then you're sitting and listening to the other broadcast team, and they're listening like, Lou Dort's one of the best defenders, he's got, great skill in scoring and all this other stuff. It's like, whoa. Obviously, it's either A, the professionals are right, or Oklahoma City Thunder people and what they're hearing about Dort is wrong. Because it's the podcasters and the Oklahoma City Thunder media propaganda of what the shooting guard should look like in the NBA. Just like what they think that their starting center should look like, or a Baisley should look like. Well, Baisley can't put up 16, 17, 18 points a game, so we don't want him. And it's like, that's not how teams are built. You don't just take 16, 17 a night players and put them on a team. You take guys that can play different roles, like defenders, hardcore defenders. If you're wanting Dort to go out there and score 25 points a night right now, you're not understanding Dort's game. You're just not. He's not going to go out there. He's going to have a good game when he scores 13 points and has a couple steals and he gets to the free throw line 8 times. That's a good game for him, guys. I don't understand why people are sitting there going, comparing him to Bradley Beal, saying, look at Bradley Beal. This is what a shooting guard should look like. I'm sorry. Dort's not 6'6". He's not a pure shooter like that. And he plays way better defense than anybody else in that shooting guard role in the NBA.
Yeah. So, he has to take a few shots within the offense. He did shoot one deep 3 with 4 seconds left on the shot clock when he caught the hot potato. Like, those
but that's different. Those were forced shots versus
right
in the shot selection.
Right. And understanding that like his willingness to take that shot is far more important than like the percentage he has when he's shooting it. Because if he starts second guessing himself, he's not going to knock that down, and he might only knock down 1 out of 5 in that hot potato situation. But if he puts the ball on the floor at that moment, we're probably not getting a shot off, and that's why you'll take a 1 out of 5 spot in any given situation, and it will go up over the course of his career. And one thing we want to avoid doing is comparing him, because like when you look at a player like Desmond Bane, or people compared him to Marcus Smart, like or the Blazers were, like there's a few other guys that are elite defenders on the guard position, but they were putting him in the top 3. Okay, we've heard Luka put him in the top 3. Now, when you have someone who creates that many difficulties, especially one-on-one with the best player, like you have to just step back and recognize that that player is on their own path. Yeah. So you don't want to be saying like, well, offensively he's not up to this par. It's like, it's the reason for years in baseball, like the guy who was catcher really wasn't expected to hit at the same level as every other position, because you're there for defense, right? And if you can play that position defensively and really call pitches at the highest level, well, that's what Dort is. He's sitting out there. We're leaving him on an island against someone who's being paid $40 million a year, $45 million a year to be one of the elite players who's setting a team record on scoring, and we never question whether or not we have the right guy on the island. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we go to war with this guy. So that's what you want. You want him to be aggressive offensively, attack the hole, find the gaps, and make it so teams have to respect you. Because we've seen what it looks like when they don't respect Lou Dort. We don't have to think back very long. When they don't respect Lou Dort, there's not a lot of openings for other people. So he has to demand that respect through aggression.
And look at what he's changed. Like he was a spot up shooter, you know, I want to say even the first half of last year, that's what he did. And then it was this change in the second half of the year where he attacked the hole, and it was understanding what Coach D wanted him to do through the offense. Now this year, you know, a year and a half into what he's doing good right now, and that's attacking, and he's getting his role and understanding his role more. Like having 8 to 10 shots for Lou Dort is good. You know, it just is. Like watching Shea take 24. I mean, I love Shea taking 20 plus shots a game. Listen, if he's taking less than 20 plus shots a game, I'm okay with that. But Shea taking 24, that's where we're going to get Shea in the 30s and 40-point games. So I like it. You know, I heard last night that Shea leads the NBA in free throw attempts. And I guess that would also mean that he leads the NBA in free throws made as well. So Shea is just doing a phenomenal job of getting to that free throw line, finishing that free throw. Last night went there to the free throw line 14 times. Man, it's just exciting watching this team get along. And one thing that you said I want to highlight again was Kenny Williams talked about Shea's game and how he wasn't playing, necessarily to the best of his ability.
Yeah, he's struggling, right?
Struggling, yeah. And he was right. But the one thing that Shea did was when he's struggling, he has this tenacity to get to that free throw line. Because when he's struggling, I found out and watching his game is when he gets that free throw line, the more he gets there, it's about the end of the game at that moment. When he's having trouble getting that ball in the hole, he wants to get as many free throws up as possible because it's free shots, it's free figuring out where the range is at. And then if you watch him towards the end of the game, like where does he go? Like, he might try to get to the hoop, but he wants that mid-range shot. He wants that free throw line extended shot. And if you follow that free throw line extended all the way around the corner, that's where he likes to go. And it's phenomenal to me to see a young man like this that has that what I call that tenacity to get to that block, and recognize what's going on with that block and then moving from there. The block offense is what I love. Like attack, attack a block, pick a block and attack that area. And we're hearing Shea talk about, attacking the block, and I love it, man. This is exactly what this young man needs right now. And, he's out there doing the things he's doing. And I mean, like, look at it. We got Poku, J-Dub, Aaron Wiggins, and Lou Dort. So we've got a rookie, two sophomores, and obviously Lou Dort's 24 years old. So, but this is what he's doing with this team right now. And you hear all these other people that talk about Shea being selfish, and then it's like, but why? This is what stars are supposed to do. The stars are supposed to go out there and put up 35 points on 24 shots, and yes, that's not perfect game in any stretch of the imagination, but you need your stars to do stuff like this.
Yeah, I noticed the ball kept moving a little bit better than it was. Even though he was getting to the basket, he was shooting the ball, I think, a lot more quickly than he was before he was out the last game. And I think watching how the team played without him, it kind of gave him a little bit of an idea of just trust the flow of the game a little bit more. And then he just let it come to him. The game tightens up at the end, right? And then there's more opportunities for a player like Shea. Early on, there was a couple of times where it was his shot wasn't falling and he kept shooting it, and that was fine. But what you don't want to see is a ball stopper, right? And right. I know that Shea wants to be the best player he can be. He wants to get out there and, beat every team and do whatever it takes to help the team win. And when you're such a great offensive player, sometimes it can be a little tricky to figure out what balance you need to have of aggression. Because if you become too passive, then the team is, their game plan is taking you out of yours. So he's actually found a really nice balance. I think there were moments, where over the last few games where we were on a losing streak, where maybe that was one of the things that I kind of wondered about when we were getting down by big deficits. And then in this game, when we were up against a double-digit deficit, it was everybody else who really just kind of rallied it. And then when we were going, right, then it was he figured out how to pick it up from there and lift us a little bit higher than we could without him. Let's face it, this was a better game than the last game. We didn't get away with building a huge lead and then trying to nurture that lead. This was a back and forth. This was two heavyweights going toe-to-toe for 12 rounds, and we got to come out on top. It's one of those games you try to tell yourself, even if we don't hit that shot, even if Dame does something special and wins the game, that we're still proud of this effort. But, there's adrenaline and good feelings that come with a win that you can't replace. And I know how they're feeling in the locker room. I know that they're going to look at it and figure out what they can learn and come back and execute. And honestly, man, I know the Blazers are in the same position. But here's what I think. As a Thunder fan, I think that we're capable of a better game. And I'm not sure the Blazers are.
Well, it comes down to depth, man.
Right.
And I think that's where you're looking at the Blazers and you're starting to understand that, yes, they have, guys that are injured right now. But you're looking at their squad and you're saying, okay, yes, their top 5 guys are great. They're going to play amazing. But in order for them to stay in games, you need to have Grant playing 42 minutes, Damian Lillard playing 39-plus minutes, Josh Hart playing 32 minutes, and Simmons playing 35. That's the only way. Justin Winslow is their best player off the bench right now, and he played 22 minutes. They got nothing else, guys. And you look at this team that we have, and we played 10 guys. Lowest amount of minutes was 11 minutes. 10 guys. This is legit. We caused issues because when Jeremy Grant played 42 minutes, if he was playing 7 less minutes, he would have been way more effective in that fourth quarter. And if you look at Shea and what he did in that 7 less minutes or 6 less minutes that he did than he got with Jeremy Grant, it was the difference between Shea getting that shot off and Shea missing that shot. 7 minutes plays with your legs a lot. So, yeah, I look at it and say this team is structured way better in the aspect of, Portland might win a lot of games in the regular season, but Damian Lillard and Grant and Simmons and Hart, they're all going to be tired by the time playoff comes, and that's when teams like this collapse. And everybody's like, why can't this team ever win? It's because they don't have the depth. They don't have the coaches like we do. They don't have the time to take and embark on drafting a bunch of young, talented players and letting them grow inside the system, because you can't go out and pay veterans to fill up your bench like this. You got to do it through the draft. We saw with Oklahoma City try to do it through trading and doing it through this and doing it through that, and we couldn't do it last time. That's why it's so important to go through the draft, get your players, make it strong, lock up the players you need to lock up, and just go at it. And that's exactly what we're seeing with this team is it's causing problems to the teams that are like Portland. And this is going to happen throughout the season, where we're going to be playing against a team that's injured and they have 5 or 6 guys that are, healthy and ready to go, that are used to playing, and everybody else won't be. And we'll go out there and just dominate. And I'm excited, man. This is, we made Shaedon Sharpe look like a rookie. We made these other guys just look young and insignificant and of sorts. And, it was just great, man. It was just like, whoa, like this team looks really, really good because our defense causes such a massive issue with everybody.
Dude, it's like, snort that shit, dude.
Right?
Oh my God. Give me 2 lines of that every day.
It's
Probably
unbelievable,
won't live
man.
for very long, but I'll live fun. Man.
Our defense, bro. That's it. That's where this began and started.
It's like crack, bro. It's like crack. You can't help it, man. Like, we make plays, we create stops, we get out in transition, and we run. Like,
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I've heard coaches talk about that's their goal? Probably like almost all of them. Like, very few will say, like, our offense is our offense. They usually say our best offense is a good defense, get out, transition, run. So that's the mantra of a lot of teams. Like, they want to play great defense and they want to run when they can create deflections, steals. So it's not a surprise to hear it from a coach. It's another thing to see them get out there and execute it when they're so young.
Oh, yeah.
And I know if you guys have been watching this podcast for a little while now, you've seen so many highlights now, right? Because we play all the made buckets every podcast, right? So if you just count the number of times that we score in transition, where it starts out, and here's the thing, transition can happen after a make.
Yeah.
Like, if we're running hard enough, but a miss, a big guy getting the rebound, dribbling up the court, and a deflection, a block shot, a steal. It doesn't matter. We're always running. We're always looking to get up the court. We're always looking to attack. And it's important that you play with tempo, but not play out of control.
Sure.
And that's a balance that we found.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And again, to me, it comes down to the defense. When this team starts clicking on offense, it's because our defense starts clicking. And we go on insane runs, and it's all because it plays off of each other. And it's just it's fun basketball. When you're watching a team fast break on every single opportunity, fast breaks, and when you're watching them attack the hole and attacking downhill at all moments, this is exactly the type of basketball that you strive to watch as a basketball fan. So, of course, when we're playing against other teams and the announcers and the broadcast guys are all like, this is so fun to watch. I wish we could take a piece of this with us. And it's crazy because this is only year 3 of this experiment, really year 2 of this experiment, and it's so fresh. I can't even wait until we're in a position where we're watching this team at year 6 and everybody's like, oh shit. Yep. They hold all the records of the scoring. They hold all the records on defense. They hold all the records on this. They hold all the records on scoring off their benches. And, this next time that like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and all these guys get together and like, we got to break up this Oklahoma City team because they're going to destroy everybody, right? People won't be able to do it because they'll look at it and be like, who do we take away? And then, they'll be all right without that person. They'll be all right with that person. That's the thing, is that this team is so deep and it has so much depth that, you take a play out and you insert X player here and everybody steps up, and it's that powerful.
Yeah, man. I think that's a great way to say it. Great place to leave it, man. Like, we busted out a podcast yesterday, and then we come back today. We're back-to-back days. It's okay. We'll go back-to-back-to-back. It
Sunday.
doesn't matter.
We threw it out Sunday, bro.
Oh, we threw that out Sunday?
Yeah. We took yesterday off.
Dude, you're right.
All the days are rolling together though, because yeah, that's just the way shit is.
Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the drugs. Yeah, I don't know. Thanks, guys. We love you. We will be back, hopefully sooner than later. We love talking after wins. We get so much good feelings, man. We get
great love from our friends out there, guys. We appreciate you. Like Mark said, and I said 100 times, write us on YouTube, write us on anywhere, and if we can't respond to you, we'll make sure that we dedicate a section of our podcast reading the review or reading the questions that you have, just because you guys mean something to us, and we enjoy each one of you guys when we have an opportunity to talk to you guys. So thanks again for reaching out to us. We appreciate you and love you guys. Thank you.